all the money they had to spend. Huge money from the Tennessee Titans. They entered the window as one of the top cap space teams in the league, and they brought in some ex-Giants to join Brian Dable, including at cornerback Cordell Flott, one of two major corner additions today. And you can see some of the other names. Wan'Dale Robinson, a big one there as well. Don't forget about that. All right, Adam.
No, that's it. That's all there is for the Tennessee Titans. Even though there have been massive spending and having an awesome off-season. And this is the thing that's so frustrating about Tennessee Titans content, is that it's just few and far between. And I recently learned why so much of this is happening, because the smaller markets, they get less views, they get less clicks. And if you're making videos, any singular video that doesn't do well has potential to hurt everything else. And it's why I push so hard to please subscribe and watch the full length of the video for these, for these smaller teams, because I want to be able to talk about the Tennessee Titans. I don't want to have to worry about that. And what I realized is that if I keep making videos like the Tennessee Titans that don't get a lot of views, it has the potential to hurt everything else. And so the way how you can help combat that is by subscribing and watching the full length of the video. I'm just trying to create enough of a base so I can talk about the Tennessee Titans and not have to worry about it. Because when you guys subscribe and you watch the full length of the video and subscribe at the same time, views go through the roof, subscribers go through the roof, and I want to talk about the Tennessee Titans. And I don't want to have to go up against the almighty, algorithm. So, please do help support them, because it is so frustrating, cause I am looking all around and this is it. This is the only thing that exists for the Tennessee Titans off-season season right now, right? And I was at first when I saw this segment, when I was trying to find, Titans content, I see this graphic and I'm okay, great. They're going to talk about Titans. Nope. I'm maybe Adam Schefter's going to talk about it. Maybe Dan Arlos is going to talk about nope. This is it. And nothing on First Things First, nothing on The Herd, nothing on Get Up, First Take, none of it. And I'm this is so frustrating. So frustrating. So, I'm doing the best that I can. I'm trying to play my part to get after, because I love the moves that they're making, and they're spending both on offense and defense, right? They're attacking both sides of the ball. They're set. They have two coaches that they are looking to set up for success, Sulla and Dable. And now you have a top pick in the draft, obviously. And it's people are really confident that Jeremiah Love is going to the Tennessee Titans. Now you got some beasts. Now you got some true offensive weapons to work with Cam Ward and Brian Dable. That is exciting. I've been super impressed with how the Las Vegas Raiders have been running their off-season and the moves that they've made in free agency. And I was talking to someone in the comments section, and they're pretty much oh, this is what the Titans should be doing in terms of what the Raiders are doing. And I get that, especially the whole idea of fortifying the O-line and all of that. I think they're doing a fantastic job. The Tennessee Titans, I really do. I mean, the Tennessee Titans, listen, you can always improve your O-line. Your O-line can always be better. No matter how amazing it is, it can always be better. But it's not it was devastatingly awful. 64% pass block win rate, ranked 16th. This isn't, this wasn't the key difference between them winning and losing. And the run block win rate, 70%. The run block win rate. The rankings can be a little tough with some of these, because everything is so squished together that you can be 26, then you go up a percent and you go all the way up to 16th, right? So, it's just the percentages are, the rankings are a little bit less important from my viewpoint than the actual percentages themselves. Cause you can look at them again, 64% for the pass block win rate, and you can go to another team that is 54% and they're 32nd. That is a 10% drop. That is a massive swing, right? The rankings themselves less, so you go up a couple extra points and you could be now top 10, and it's just so I think the rankings themselves need to be, taken with a grain of salt. And again, when you look at a team like the Las Vegas Raiders, they were 61% and 70%. So, again, their rushing attack was terrible. And even though they seemingly had an appropriate running back to work with Ashton Jeanty, and I think if we look at a team like the Tennessee Titans were atrocious. 93.5, just absolutely awful. Awful, 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 awful. To not even be able to break 100 yards per game at this point, that is a rough existence. That is a rough existence. But again, the Raiders were even worse. But the other problem is they couldn't get into the end zone either from a rushing attack. They had 9 rushing touchdowns. 9 rushing touchdowns. So, you had a bad defense, struggled to run the ball, and even when you are in the red zone, like you couldn't even help your quarterback and just get it into the end zone on the ground. It was essentially non-existent. I mean, the Minnesota Vikings, who were a mess of a team, multiple quarterbacks, multiple injuries, chaos all over the place, watching Sam Darnold slinging it all, they had 15 rushing touchdowns. They were able to get 108.3 yards per game, and their O-line was not great, but with scheme and some bodies, they were able to get it done. So, personally, I'm super excited at the prospect of getting a Jeremiah Love. I mean, I just think that could go such a long way. And this is the post that I saw that I actually really liked by Kurt Banker. The Titans are completely loading up and still have a top 5 pick to make another splash. Jeremiah Love. They could be a one-year turnaround team to watch for. They'll look completely different and already have an incredibly talented quarterback. Let me tell you right now, I absolutely think they will be a one-year turnaround team. Unless that man is just an absolute bust, which I don't think he is. I think he's going to be able to have a ton of success with Brian Daboll. I'm not going to tell you it's going to be the prettiest thing week after week after week, because I still think there'll be legitimate genuine growing pains. Cause I just think I think it was really tough sledding last season, and I doubt there was much development going on with Cam Ward last season, and I'm really confident in say what you will about Brian Daboll, but I'm really confident in his ability to develop young talent. Can he maximize talent? Can he bring out the best in every team and every offense? Remains to be seen. But I think his track record with developing young talent, developing raw, essentially freshly out of college talent like that. I think he's consistently shown his ability to do that. I think that is very obvious and very clear to me. And I am excited at the idea that he doesn't have to worry about being a head coach and develop CAM at the same time. But now you're giving him again concrete pieces to work with offensively, and then again potentially Jeremiah Love. Like, I don't know, man. I try so hard to not go all in on a specific individual draft pick, because it's so frustrating, because you could be like, that's what's going to happen, and then it doesn't happen, and you're just like, you feel like you kind of wasted all this time. So I'm not trying to get too hung up on the draft itself. That's why I kind of rather just focus on the things that we know actually happen. That's why I even like Mitchell Trubisky there, because I always love having a veteran quarterback backup who's been around the block, because he's going to spend a tremendous amount of time with Cam Ward in a lot of ways. Like he's a part of an extension of Brian Daboll. And so there's plenty that Mitch Trubisky teach. And I always especially like a backup quarterback that has been around the block, that has played for multiple teams. I mean, Mitch Trubisky has even been in the playoffs, like someone who has experience like it goes a really long way. It was one of the mistakes the Chicago Bears made a couple years ago before they had, before this season, so his rookie year. But it is always good to have a veteran presence, and one that's not like lurking over the shoulders of like, maybe I'll start, maybe like that's obviously not the situation. So I think a Mitch Trubisky is really perfect there, honestly. And so I can't find the clip right now, but Dan Orlovsky also said, because it was in a completely different segment, where he then came out and said that he believes that the Tennessee Titans are going to get Jeremiah Love. Now again, it was like a throwaway line, because he was talking about a completely different team, but he just kind of said he's like, I think the Titans are going to be getting Jeremiah Love. And so, I think it might have been a clip potentially about the Raiders or the Chiefs even. Maybe again, it had nothing to do with the Titans. So, that's why it's not like a clip worth making, but he did come out and say that as well. So, I don't know, man. Titans got a little bit of momentum going. I'm curious, do you guys want Jeremiah Love? I made a couple other Raiders videos, Titans videos talking about kind of where they can go in the draft. That was obviously before the free agency. They obviously made very concrete specific moves in free agency. So, I'm curious. Are you thinking Jeremiah Love? You thinking defense? You know, what's the mindset at right now? Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.